through the waving coral and the thick algae and the potent seaweed, washed upon the shore, if you're lucky enough, you might come across a chest or a box with interesting finds washed up on the shore. Now, in your chest, you may be lucky enough to find some gold jewellery, maybe worth a penny or two, or maybe it's some chains, a useful find for somebody who's working maybe on the ships. In your box, you might find a magnet. Now, this magnet's quite large, but quite useful. And you might have some small magnets at home, some very small ones, and you could even actually use fridge magnets. Anything that could be useful to pick up finds as you explore your shipwrecked box. Also in your box or your chest, you may come across some jewellery with rare pearls or rare stones. Maybe it will come in handy to exchange or use as a bargain later. Again, I wonder who may have these in their belongings. It might be useful to find things that are the same but with different textures. So here, just as an example, I've put 3 brushes together. This one's quite hard, and this one has a different texture altogether, and this one is really soft and gentle on the skin. All 3 are brushes, but all 3 are different. So you might find a collection of different things in the house that are the same, but just feel or look or sound different to the ear. You may find in your treasure box, you may find an interesting and intriguing bunch of keys. Now, I've just got an everyday household keys here, but I'm sure, like most people at home, you've got one of those bunch of keys with millions of keys on them and huge padlocks, etc. And they might be a really interesting thing to include in your find and your box that has been washed up on the shipwreck shore. It could be that you have a box that has got just keys in, or it might be that you have a box with just rare coins inside the box. For instance, this is just a tin and I've put lots of coins in there, or it could be gold. It depends on where your story or your imagination is going. But again, this could easily be put inside a cloth bag, or keep it in a tin like I've done. The vessel doesn't really matter actually, but the sound is great. You may come across a tonic or a bottle of something interesting. Again, it might be a clue to who the chest belongs to. Now, here I've got some essential oils blended in a base oil, but and it's just a really nice scent. Now, it could be that this is a tonic for somebody who needs to get some rest, that maybe they work on the ships and they've packed this particularly so they can get some sleep at night. Or equally, it might be somebody who feels sleepy a lot and needs to have something or like something that might pep them up or wake them up a little bit. It could just be a bottle or a vessel with something really pleasant inside of it. Again, it could be a clue to who this interesting find belongs to. Equally, it could just be a perfume bottle with a lovely scent, or even an empty perfume bottle with the remains of a scent inside. In your treasure chest, you might find a mirror. Now, who would need or use a mirror quite often? And also, this can actually just give a little more texture and a little more interest to the exploration and the activity to have a mirror. And I'm sure there'll be lots of useful ways and interesting ways you can incorporate a mirror into your box. It's just another find. Now somebody is very practical, because in this particular chest there's a ladle. Or is it expensive silverware, foraged or taken, or dare I say stolen by a vagabond or a pirate? It has been known that pirates lurk on ships. Speaking of which, this is a belt. Now this looks like somebody's belt, somebody who has a need for a really, really sparkly, beaded, textured belt. But again, it might not be used as a belt, or again, it could have been put there or stolen, or maybe it's a fancy belt belonging to somebody who's travelling on the ship. A nice cozy blanket could be added to your treasure, to your box. And in this chest, this could be something warm. It could be a nice cozy pair of socks, or it could even be just a nice satin or silky, nice to feel blanket or fabric. And at the end, depending where you'd like to place this, what if you found a snack? Now I know some people, explorers, might be interested in finding a bite to eat. I've got a little box of raspberries here, so maybe a snack box placed in your box could have been left by the person owning the box. Perhaps again, somebody who works on the ship needs a snack while they're working. So these are just suggestions for your box, really. It's all about having fun, and it's all about keeping in mind the context that this has been washed upon the shore through the algae, through the coral, and it came up from the ship, and it could have and contain anything exciting or interesting. Now in the background I've got some ocean wave sounds. Now these sounds can be loaded up on an app at any time, and it could just add an interesting texture and give context to the experience, and again just create a part of the narrative and the story that you're exploring and the activity that you're sharing. Enjoy.